So another week in the apocalypse that is The Last of Us, and today is episode 6 of season 2. So if you don't want to watch on, spoiler alert, don't watch on from here. So this week's episode is more from Joel's perspective, which means yes, it is a flashback episode in its entirety. They just had to get more Pedro Pasqual in as well, didn't they? I mean, 2 episodes out of 7. And this deals with family issues. So families are complicated. Not everything is black and white with this. And we have a flashback of a flashback as our opening scene. So we get a Tony Dalton cameo, which I really did not expect, as Joel and Tommy's father. And if you haven't watched Better Call Saul, I mean, he's a drug lord baron from Mexico in that one. So he's probably a better person in this. But when Joel is with Tommy, young Joel, young Tommy, he's trying to protect him. Tommy has done wrong and he's saying, look, I'll just take the beating. So father comes in, you know, old Father Lalo or Father Tony. He's a cop. That makes sense from Joel's character's perspective, the whole strict upbringing, that sort of thing. Well, and the fact that it was a messed up upbringing. I mean, we could have guessed that without a flashback. But it goes into the theme of family because he's expecting his father to beat him. First of all, for him pretending that he did what he did when his father knows it was Tommy. And then it's, oh God, he knows that I'm lying and he's going to beat both of us now. But actually, it's the whole, he's trying to say, look, I know I've been really bad. Here's what my father did. He kind of wasn't defending it. He was just saying, and this is it, I'm trying to do better, which he has done from a very low bar, and that sets up the theme of the episode. And when we get back to the town, to the modern day town, it's kind of Joel going through the whole, how's Joel going to deal with being a parent, because that's ultimately another big theme of this. I mean, we're going through the birthdays, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'll start with the museum though, because I thought that was really cool. Like when he takes her out to the museum and she's in like the original like spaceship and things like that, that's really done well from the game. But the other highlight of that bit was Joel with the whole, oh, I think you and Jesse might like each other. Okay, I'm paraphrasing, but it was the whole, you know, do you guys like each other? And she's like, no, but you wouldn't understand why. And then we get Joel later on a different birthday, 17th birthday, walking in on her with a girl. Now, I think they're trying to allude to the fact that Joel might have been intolerant to this at first, or that from Ellie's perspective it might have been intolerant, and we're supposed to sort of vaguely buy that. I mean, it's probably fair to say that Papa Lalo would have been intolerant to Joel having a boyfriend, but it's just the whole Joel trying to be like, oh, okay, I didn't really expect this. Oh, my brain's frazzled. But it didn't suggest that he was actually disapproving per se. I mean, maybe, I mean, this is for the audience to decipher. They didn't say this in the episode, but you have to sort of decide, would his background have made it difficult to accept? We don't know, but it didn't take him long to accept. So even if it was one of those things that he was taught was wrong, it took him like 2 seconds to go, I don't care. So that was the worst outcome. So that was pretty cool to see. Complicated families, hey, messed up upbringings. Also, another thing that was quite different in his tone was the fact that Ellie had basically worked out that he'd killed the Fireflies at the hospital in season 1. It was just the whole, oh my God, if I confront him, like it's getting the gumption to go, this is really horrible to confront him. And then she didn't sort of say this outright, but it's got to be the whole, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm accusing my father figure of literally this horrendous thing and betrayal, and I'm wrong? But yeah, it was cool to see her going through the motions. It makes Ellie seem more human. And then for her 19th birthday, when he takes her out on patrol, this adds to Gail, the therapist, if you remember the therapist's backstory, because she doesn't like Joel, and we don't totally know the exact details why, but we know, well, we knew that he killed her husband, but we didn't know how it happened, shall we say, because it seemed like it would be more complicated than just, well, you know, you did the right thing, killed my husband, and I hate you. It just, because they have to kill them sometimes, and you probably knew it was an infection, because if it had just been a downright murder. Gail comes across as someone with huge resilience, despite the fact that she's like, have I got permanent therapist written here? Is the flashing thing above my head? So I don't think it would just be for no reason. I didn't feel like that with her character. And it sure wasn't, because Joel took Ellie out on her first patrol, and he betrayed Ellie's trust with Eugene, Gail's husband, who'd got bit. He clearly wasn't going to do anything. And, you know, just to take him back to say goodbye, because they'd assessed that he wasn't going to die quickly. Well, turn quickly, I should say. There's that, but there's then the fact that he betrayed Ellie's confidence by telling her, yeah, go back. And Ellie didn't fully believe him, but she gave him another chance. And he betrayed it. It was harsh on Eugene. And then when he's giving Gail the BS back at the town, I mean, I get some of it from Joel's perspective, but he was going too far with it as well. And then obviously Ellie snaps. That you can argue, again, this is where it's complicated. Was that more cruel on Gail at this point because he was dead? And also the fact that even if it wasn't, Ellie was doing it because of Ellie and Joel's relationship. So, yeah, that's complicated to say the least. And that gets us to the final scene, because we saw Ellie's perspective at the big dance with Joel defending her, but now we see it from where Joel was sitting and him watching. I mean, it's basically the same, but we then get to actually go to them standing on their veranda and talking about what happened when creating the vaccine, which we didn't get in the game. We got very much a confrontation near the museum in that bit, and there was some time between when Joel died and the betrayal and them not talking, so you guys aren't getting on. Whereas this time it was they aren't getting on because Ellie is growing up, having problems, and she doesn't quite trust him, but this time there's probably, I think it's only a day between when he dies, but she gets it out of him. She's like, look, we're done, which is from the same as the game, if you lie, because I know. And the way he sells it, Pedro Pascal, it's so much better than the game. Now, I will defend the game by saying that they had to do it the first time. The series has had a sort of test run with the game's audience reaction, but Pedro Pascal nailed it. He looked broken. It looked like he was trying a lot. It looked like he was trying to be better, but he was also being more honest by going, I would do it all over again. He wasn't telling Ellie what she wanted to hear. He was telling her how he really felt and why he felt it. And where it humanised Ellie even more, it was the fact that she said, I will try to forgive you, that humanised her more. Because she can't guarantee it, because he's now lied twice in a really bad way. But look at how Joel's been with her. And the fact that it's the day after means we don't have more misery coming down the line than we need from Ellie's perspective, because we've seen the darkness and the light. The darkness from the last episode, when she absolutely mangles that person in the spore lung, when your lungs are ridden with spores hospital. And now she's like saying, I will forgive you. That's in the past, admittedly, but that shows that she can be brought back and can be redeemed. And that's a better job than they did with the game. Enough misery in The Last of Us. We don't need misery upon misery upon misery upon misery. So I think they did a great job with that. That's a good setup for season 3, I would say. So yeah, I enjoyed episode 6. It is one of those kind of, it's kind of fillery, but it added a lot to the overriding story, I would say. So I was happy with it, and we've got the last episode of this season next week. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Did you perhaps go, oh my god, it's another filler episode? Or whatever. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, I'll see you later.